Hello, and welcome to the Explora Journeys Cruises video review. This is for an upcoming cruise that will be on February 14th through the 21st, 2025 to the Caribbean. My name is Gary Tilkin, aka Southern Gary on Cruise Critic, the Cruising Guy on Microsoft, and the Learning Guy on Reddit. This is part 1 of my live and post cruise review. This part is called the pre-cruise review. Now, the main categories that I'll be talking about and drilling down on will be booking the cruise, changing or adjusting the cruise booking, guest paid upgrade requests, communications, specialty restaurant reservations, booking excursions, booking spa treatments, and the Explora Journey website. So now this is the first main section. I call it booking the cruise. Now I rated my experience with booking the cruise as a 9 out of 10. That's pretty high. Now I personally chose a trusted cruise travel agent. Her name is Staci Sanford. I've worked with her for years. I am not the easiest client, and she has always exceeded my expectations. But you can choose a travel agent or a discount travel agent, which would be like a Costco or a cruise.com, or you could choose Explora Journey. Now there's positives and negatives. If you choose Explora Journey, you are Explora Journey's client, so you can communicate directly with them on any topic. When I use Staci, or if you use a discount house, you have to go through the discount house because they are really the client to Explora Journey. So if you have an issue and you try to deal directly with Explora Journey, it doesn't work. They'll only talk to your travel agent. That's just the way the process works. But I use Staci, and the process with Explora was seamless. It was relatively easy. And the communication between my agent and Explora Journey was clean and simple. I got exactly what I was looking for, everything was exactly on topic, and it was exactly correct. Now this category is called changing or adjusting your booking. Now I rated it a 6 out of 10, which means Explora Journeys has some room to grow. Now I, like most everybody else, book at the listed fare, and my fare was based on an Ocean Suite 2. Now, after I booked it, I watched for different sales, reductions, just things that happened that would be more beneficial to me. Well, a sale was advertised. I rebooked this same suite at this same price. And what I gained was, I gained onboard credit. But it was a little bit difficult to do. You see, I had to cancel the original booking, rebook, pay another security deposit. Now, the old security deposit was applied to my final payment, and it was applied. It all worked out, but it was very labor intensive for my travel agent, for Explora Journey, and me worrying about if it was actually going to happen or not happen. Now, the next category is called Guest Paid Upgrade Request. Now, I rated this a 5 out of 10, which means Explora Journey has some room for improvement. Now, I want to explain something to you. It is my opinion, not everyone's opinion, my opinion, that when you pay the full amount, when it's due and you pay it, if there's a sale or an incentive that happens after that, you're probably not going to get it. It's possible, you can ask, but you're probably not going to get it. Now let's talk about paid upgrades by guests. 45 days out, right before the cruise was going to happen, I sent an email out to the guest services for Explora Journeys. I asked for what exactly their process was for guest paid upgrade requests. I sent it out. I was very clear. I gave them examples of what NCL does, of what Celebrity does, of what Crystal does, of what other major brands do. And I said, do you do something like that? For example, NCL has a bidding process. Now I waited 5 days, and then I sent out the email again. I waited another 5 days, and then I did something kind of special. I found out the email address for a top-level executive, and I sent them out the exact same email. The difference was it was responded in less than 12 hours. And the actual email sent back to me was perfection personified. This was a clinic on how to tell somebody, no, we don't have a process, because they don't really have a process. They'll work with you, but they don't have a process. It was kind. It related back to the email that I said. It was impressive, and it was done very quickly. Now, what this did for me was this told me that the leadership at Explora Journey gets it, and they have to lead by example so that the customer service has a quicker response time. Now, that being said, after I sent the email out twice to customer service, finally they responded, not to me, but to my travel agent. Remember, when you use a travel agency, that's their client. They wouldn't even talk to me. They gave me two options. I chose not to do either one of the two options. One, I didn't think it was a very good value, and two, I needed twin beds, and some of the options that they gave me didn't give me the possibility of twin beds. The real key issue is when you're working with and want to gain an upgrade request, it should be very quick, to the point, and there should be a policy. My next major category was communications, and I broke it into 4 different types of communications. The first was the communication originally with the Explora Journey's telephone agent. I rated them 9 out of 10. I asked a lot of questions. They not only answered my questions, they were willing to follow up with me, and the information they gave me was accurate. I can't ask for anything more. The next was email inquiries. I just spoke to you about email inquiries and that it took between 5 and 7 days to get back with me. Again, 5 out of 10. They need to improve on their response time. Then email notifications. What this means is you're booked and they send you little notifications to remind you to do things. They were okay. It's just I'd already done it, and they're sending me this communication saying do this thing, like go to your preferences and add in your preferences. If I've already done it, I felt it redundant that they would ask me to go and look at it and do it again. And finally, travel documents and luggage tags. I gave this a 9 out of 10 because it was really great. As soon as you paid the full amount, you got the information to be able to print your own labels for your luggage and to download your documents. I thought that was great. Now, I like printing luggage tags because I use a plastic device that I got from Amazon to put those luggage tags into, because I used to get luggage tags from the cruise line and they would be ripped off. And so I'd get over there and try to drop it off, and a couple of times I got lucky and the people at the port stopped me and said, "You don't have a tag." And I just shook my head. From that point forward, I had these plastic luggage tags from Amazon, worked perfectly. The next category is one of my favorites, specialty dining reservations. I rated them a 10 out of 10. It was easy. 60 days prior to your cruise. Unless you're in an upper end suite, and I wasn't. I was in an ocean suite, which is really the entry level. You can book 2 restaurants that are reservation only restaurants. One is called Marble and Company Grill, and the other one is called Sakura. When you book these, you can choose your time and date. I had no problem whatsoever. It was seamless, and it showed right back up on my reservation. It made me feel very comfortable about the process. The next category is booking excursions. Now, it was just as easy to book excursions. You go online, you go to your account. It's right next to specialty restaurants, so it was super easy. So why didn't I give it a 10 out of 10 like I did with the specialty restaurants? One simple reason. I gave them a 7 out of 10. I gave them a lower score because they didn't let you use your onboard credits to book the excursions. I get it. I also get that the excursions that I want, if I want one, which is rare because I've done all the excursions, will be the most popular ones. So I use my credit card and I booked 2. Still, it still kind of gets me that I couldn't use my onboard credits. Now the two that I booked were in Cozumel. We did a tour that I've done before, and I wanted my sister, who's never been on a cruise before, to enjoy it, and that was the tequila, honey, and chocolate tour. On Key West, I rented a golf cart for 4 hours because that's exactly what I wanted to do on Key West. Again, I would have given them a 10 out of 10 if they would have given me the opportunity to use and utilize my onboard credit. The next category is booking spa treatments. Notice it's the same score, 7 out of 10. I would have given them a 10 out of 10, but they wouldn't let me use my onboard credits. Now look, I don't usually book spa treatments. I have. They're grossly overpriced. But this is the first opportunity for my older sister, who's never cruised, and I've cruised 35 times, to have a massage, and she loves that. So I saved my onboard credits for her massages. That being said, not allowing me to use my onboard credit was an inconvenience. Now, I get it. What the cruise company is trying to do is get as much cash up front or credit cards up front as possible, and the times that usually get utilized first is going to be sea days. Happens on every cruise. This is going to be no different. Now, my strategy is, as soon as I get on board, I'm going to try to go to the spa desk and book for a sea day. But if a sea day is unavailable, I'm more than willing to book on a port day, and that won't be a problem at all. And because I'm on board, I can use my onboard credit. It just seems like a simple thing that they could do to make it more user-friendly. Now, my final category, which is a website. Now, after this, I'm going to go back and I'm going to give you a summary review. I have 3 basic areas for the website. First is user-friendly. I gave it a 5 out of 10. They have much room for improvement, and there's lots of hiccups. Next would be navigation. Slightly better, 6 out of 10, but still lots of improvements. But where the real improvements are as technical support, which I gave 2 out of 10. Allow me to explain. When I first booked, I gave my email address. It didn't take. So there's no way for me to get online and see my account. That disturbs me because I like to go there, I like to check and double check. I double check because when I get on board, I don't have to worry about anything. Everything's been cross-checked, T's have been crossed, I's have been dotted. They couldn't get this done. Weeks they couldn't get this done. And I used to get one of these messages when I would call up saying, hey, excuse us, we're new, we're working on it, we're just a project in progress. Unacceptable. This is a luxury brand who wants to be known as a luxury brand. This is a major touch point. If your technical support isn't competent, get a better technical support department. Sorry for being harsh. This makes a difference to a lot of people. So our final slide. It's a summary of the pre-cruise review. I broke it down to positives and negatives. First, it was very easy to book the cruise. My travel agent had no problem. It was seamless. They were pros. Second, communication. That telephone agent was great. And if I called up again, great again. Good job. The email notifications after booking were pretty good. They could have been a little clearer, but they were pretty good. And the travel documents and printed luggage tags were perfect. That's exactly the way I like it. Finally, the ease of booking specialty restaurants and excursions. You go online, you book them, bingo, you're done. Now room for improvement. Changing and adjusting your booking prior to the final payment, they really got to work on that one. The guest paid upgrades, if you don't have a process, fine. Create a process because everybody else has one. I found out after the fact that some people get on board and all of a sudden they say, hey, would you like to upgrade when you're on board? So they have a process. Just tell me what it is. Third, communication. Email inquiries taking 6 to 7 days, unacceptable. And last, the website. They really got to work on this one. Not user-friendly. Navigation is spotty and technical support is non-existent. Now, there are many survey questions, and in my prior life, I studied surveys. that you want to know about. 1. Would I book Explora Journeys again? Yes. Would I share or suggest Explora Journeys to a friend or relative? Absolutely. All those things are very positive. I found for a new company that most of what I got pre-cruise was right spot on. But I always want to be realistic, and I always want to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. This is Gary Tilkin. Thank you so much. My email is on the bottom of every single page, and if you have any questions, let me know.